Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
Hello and welcome back to episode 156 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Hope you're all well. Are you well, Ryan?
I am. I'm good at the moment.
Ryan's having a bit of a glow up at the moment, everybody. I think it happens when you're in your mid-40s, but you're not quite there yet.
Not really mid-40s, but yeah, I feel good at the moment. Eating well, and not really exercising or anything like that. That will come.
You've got quite a labour-intensive job, though, haven't you? So yeah, that's probably.
I do. But then I started doing a little bit of yoga, which
you started that yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday started that. Well, everything's got to start somewhere.
Yeah, it does.
Just to help because I'm getting a lot of aches and pains. So I started doing a bit of yoga. Yeah, that's quite good.
I sat on the sofa eating a pack of crisps.
Yeah, she did while I was doing it. Yeah, and I just feel like I'm just getting stuff done at the moment.
Emptying our washing basket, it's lovely.
Yeah, I'm just getting on with it. And
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't know if like sort of eating well and all that sort of stuff it just gives you a bit more energy and you just sort of want to just get on with stuff. I think it's the fact that our holiday's coming up as well, and the weekends don't have the same impact when you've got a holiday coming up. So we go on holiday a week on Saturday. So
God,
I know. So a normal weekend, you look forward to the weekend arrives, you don't want it to end and all that sort of stuff. But at the moment, I get to the weekend, I was like, right, let's just get through this and get the next working week started so we can get through that and then, we can get on holiday. So, yeah, I'm just I feel quite good at the moment, I've got to be honest.
You're looking good.
Thank you. So do you, Siân. What's coming up on this week's show, anyway?
So on this week, we're going to be talking about the tour of Australia and New Zealand, which starts this week, and we've got a little special guest.
We have,
yes. We've got another new signing to talk about, which is Danny Ward. He's making his return to Wrexham. We look at two more championships. Get my teeth back in. 2 championship teams, and also my highlight of the week. We're going to talk about the quiz.
Also, we would like to say happy birthday to 2 very special people. One is my dad.
And one is my mum.
And one is Siân's mum, it's quite handy for us, actually. Their birthdays are the same day.
They are.
So logistically, it works brilliantly for us because you can stick them both in one place and just visit them both at the same time. So.
Yeah, it wouldn't work logistically if they hated each other, but thankfully they like each other. So thank you very much for making our life easier, parents.
Yeah. Look, before we crack on, we just want to sort of throw out some comments that we had on last week's episode about the season finale of Welcome to Wrexham. Paul Kelly said, well said, Ryan. Hopefully Siân will appreciate the documentary next season more when she gets a starring role in it. Maybe not, but it doesn't take anything away from your enjoyable podcast. Keep up the good work, guys.
Can I just interject?
Yeah.
I would like to apologise for what I said last week. I was completely wrong. The documentary was amazing throughout. I think I was just having a bad day, and because we like to be honest on this podcast, warts and all, I think I just kind of...
Did you over-honest it?
I think I over-honest it, and I don't actually believe what I said, if I'm honest.
No.
So I do apologise if I offended anybody. I'm sure there's more comments that Ryan has put into this this episode. So, but I just wanted to preempt it by saying... Sorry.
Mark Steinland, tears flowing. It was so well produced.
Scott Cleary, I agree with Ryan. The season finale was the best episode ever. Fantastic series, fantastic podcast.
Thank you, Scott. Northern Border, ending speech had me in tears. Michael PK, anybody that has played sport or coached would have been in puddles during that final part of the season. Ryan is right. Best episode. I didn't watch any of the prior episodes this season.
It actually said rye.
It did say rye.
Right.
Yeah.
Ginny
J?
Ginny J. Kyman. I personally don't watch the documentary. I don't have an opinion on it. I'm sure at some point I'll watch it, but being indifferent towards it because it doesn't feature your podcast is a bit petty. LOL. I'm not bashing you. I actually think it's quite funny. Keep working hard, guys. I watch every episode, and I'm sure someday you will get a feature on Welcome to Wrexham. I actually don't care anymore. I don't.
I didn't just throw. They were genuinely the ones that the comments that came through. It sort of sounded like I was just throwing ones in there that agreed with me. I wasn't. That's just. It just turns out everyone agreed with me. So yeah, there we go.
I agree with you now.
Yeah. Okay.
So those comments are very well received and very well. I can't think of the word, so let's just move on to the new signing.
Look, Danny Ward, back at Wrexham.
He's a Wrexham lad, isn't he?
Yeah, so he started his career at Wrexham in the academy. Didn't actually make a sort of first team appearance for us. Ended up going off to Liverpool. Couple of loan spells in there. Ended up at Leicester.
So he did quite well, really, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but he has spent his career as a backup goalkeeper. He was released by Leicester in the summer. We have, obviously, with transfer rumours, we've talked about Danny Ward in sort of previous weeks. 44 caps for Wales, which is big. I think Ryan and Rob were always very keen to get, especially Wales internationals into the squad, this is the first one maybe of many. We don't know, but on the face of it, I think a lot of people are going, backup goalkeeper. We've signed a backup goalkeeper to Arthur. For me, I think he is more than that. He is, like I said, he's very much spent, if you look at his career appearances, he's 32. He hasn't made a lot of appearances. He's been in the squad, at Leicester and at Liverpool a lot of the time, but he's not made a lot of career appearances. So people are sort of making the assumption he's just a backup to Arthur. But like I say, I think he is a lot more than that because he can play. He's an established international. And he is very much somebody that is going to come in that is going to make Arthur better. Because Arthur's spent a little bit of time at the club looking over his shoulder at Callum Burton. Mm-hmm. Who, I think everyone's been quite confident that Callum was never going to really take Arthur's spot.
No.
And then you had Chomp, obviously, who, it would have been very obvious to someone like Arthur that Chomp was there as very much as the backup, and he would step in when needed, but very much the backup. So I think Arthur spent the last year looking over his shoulder, maybe not a lot of competition in the Championship. To push Arthur on, he needs to be looking over his shoulder at somebody who is an international, has played in the Premier League, and now he's looking over his shoulder going, right, okay, I need to push on now and I need to be better. There are lots of areas that Arthur needs to improve.
I think communication's a big one whilst he's on the pitch, isn't it?
Huge.
You've said that a lot.
Yeah, huge. His communication definitely needs improving.
Yeah.
His distribution needs improving. His positioning at times definitely needs improving. He's young. I'm not bashing the lad, because
he's been great for us, hasn't he?
He's an amazing goalkeeper. But at his age, this is the time now where he needs to take that next step. He's in the Championship now. His distribution has got to be better. Communication has got to be better. All of these things that are sort of notes for what he needs to work on, he needs to start getting better. And we now have a goalkeeper that if these things aren't going to improve, can step in and has played at a much higher level. And, I could step in and do a job. So
I wonder
I think
if...
it's an important signing is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I wonder if there was something in his contract that said, because like you said, he's been a backup goalkeeper for a long time, and nobody wants to be second best, do they? So I was wondering I wonder if he has something in his contract to say that he would make a certain number of appearances in a season, maybe.
No.
No. Well, we've got. I don't
No,
know,
absolutely not. You wouldn't. You would probably have players who would demand something like that in their contract.
Yeah.
Not at this level. I'm talking I'm sure people like Lionel Messi. When he went to Inter Miami, Cristiano Ronaldo when he went, when he went to Al Nassr, I'm sure players of that ilk would have something in their contract that states, "Look, we're coming, but that we are playing a certain amount of games, regardless of performance levels." You wouldn't get anything like that at this level. No,
I can't remember if we talked about it last week though, about Arthur potentially going to this. This cup thing, I'm not 100% sure what it is.
African Cup of Nations.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And they're away for like 2 months, aren't they?
Not quite 2 months, no, but they are away for a while, and so yeah, it's.
So obviously, Danny Ward will possibly step in.
Possibly,
in their absence.
Whether he will get called up for that, I'm not 100% sure, but. Yeah, it is a consideration, and we've got a very good goalkeeper who's going to work hard in the background to be ready when he is called upon. And if Arthur's not having the best of times in the Championship, we have a ready-made replacement to step in. I all that being said, I am very confident that Arthur can make this next step and be an even better goalkeeper than he has been for us over the last couple of seasons. I have no doubt about that. This is a very good, sort of in the background signing for me. We had a few comments about it. Rob said, "I've never seen a signing have such a polarising opinion over the last few weeks. I'm not sure how I feel." Wrexham,
not sure how to feel.
Wrexham FC Boston. It's a good signing because we need a solid goalkeeper, and proven Championship experience is a plus that can provide mentorship to Okonkwo and Burton. But despite the need and his history with Wrexham, it's hard to get excited about a backup goalkeeper. Yeah, I get it, because like I say, on the face of it, he's not been brought in to start. Arthur's going to be the starter. So it is sort of hard to get excited, even though he's played in the Premier League, lots of Championship experience. He's a Wales international, so as a Welshman, it's an exciting thing. But I do get that comment that it perhaps it's hard to get really excited about somebody that you sort of already know isn't going to play very much. Still an excellent signing for me.
So talking of goalkeepers, it was announced late last week that Callum Burton has signed a new deal until the end of the 26-27 season, which I'm not sure whether I saw this coming.
No?
I don't know, because it's been so quiet, and they've brought in Danny Ward. I thought, maybe there's something in the background. Maybe Callum's going to a different club on loan.
No,
maybe
I think
he's going.
Excellent third choice.
I think when he had to step in, when Arthur got injured, unfortunately he got injured not long after that. But when he stepped in, the games that he played for us, I think he was really good, and I thought
arguably better than Arthur. Some people may say because he was really good, and that game when we lost at Stockport, superb, I think.
That was disappointing for him, I bet, wasn't it?
But lots of great performances, and unfortunate to him, you sort of, at the time, you were the number one because Arthur was out. You get injured yourself. By the time you come back, you're third choice. And so
you just don't know what's going to happen, though, do you?
No. Two of our other sort of previous goalkeepers, I suppose. Luke McNicholas signed for Forest Green Rovers, so good luck to Luke. Brad Foster signed for Ross County in the Scottish Championship on a 2-year deal.
Didn't really see Brad Foster, did we?
No, we saw him a little bit in the EFL Trophy. He looked all right, but I think when you got Arthur, you signed Danny Ward, you got Callum Burton, who we know is great as a third choice. There was no real place for him. So good luck to you two guys. Quick one about the Wrexham Academy. They're in Canada at the moment. I sort of missed this, but they're in Canada doing a little tour. They played in Nova Scotia the other day. They lost 3-0, unfortunately, to HFX Wanderers, I think they were called. So yeah, good luck. I do like keeping an eye on the academy, just to see what's going on and the players that are coming through. But I missed this. I would have mentioned it last week that they were going. So good luck for the rest of the tour out there. I
think they were in Halifax. Nova Scotia. So I think the HFX is Halifax Wanderers. So that's...
a little bit of admin before we move on as well. So 2 of our games have been moved.
Already, we haven't even
started. So our game against West Brom, our home games against West Brom on the 16th and Derby County on the 27th of September have both been moved to 12:30 kickoffs. That is because they're going to be shown live on Sky. A lot of people hate 12:30 kickoffs.
I like a 12:30.
Me personally, I do like it's an excuse to have a beer at lunchtime.
Yeah.
You're home in the afternoon, nice and early. I've got no issue with it, to be honest.
Away games, I'm a bit more like, especially if they're like in Southampton.
Yes.
It's a bit different.
There is that. So.
This is funny.
I did something this week. I was sort of messing about with ChatGPT and sort of asking different questions and all that sort of stuff. Just silly stuff, really. And I thought I'll ask ChatGPT to predict the championship table for next season.
Yep.
So I did that. And it spit out quite an interesting result, I think. I said to ChatGPT, can you predict where each team will finish in the championship, the EFL championship next season? So ChatGPT came back with Ipswich as champions, which, okay, maybe not, I don't know. They had Southampton in second. Again, so they're 2 of the relegated clubs. They had Leicester quite a bit down. I think they had Leicester in the top 10, but quite a bit down. But obviously, Leicester sort of staring down the barrel of a points deduction. So maybe ChatGPT took that into account. I really don't know. They had Birmingham in 4th, and they had us in 5th.
That's playoff level thing, isn't it?
That is playoffs, yeah. So first and second is automatic promotion, and then 3rd to 6th is the playoffs. And I was like, whoa. So obviously ChatGPT analyzes a lot of different elements from the web. I did notice that they'd put Ipswich top, and a couple of the reasons for that, they'd seen that they were the favourites on sort of betting sites and stuff like that, and a few different things, and that's why they were number 1. So yeah, it really interesting. They had us in 5th. I mean, I don't think there's any Wrexham fan out there who wouldn't take that in a heartbeat. So
absolutely, 2
promoted clubs in Birmingham and Wrexham ending up in the playoffs next season. Who knows? That was just a bit of fun. And, I'm not taking it seriously at all because
It'd be interesting to watch over the season, though, how it of pans out and whether ChatGPT.
Jack GPT?
Yeah, that
Jack GPT.
That app. Whether it's got any clout about it.
Look, I'd take that. I would take that any day of the week. But yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'm still very much survive.
Yeah.
I'm still
Consolidate.
Well, yeah, just survive. You don't want to have put all of this work in.
Made history.
Yeah, just to sort of fall down now. I'm very much of the survive mindset. But to be fair, I've been the survive mindset every season that we've gone up. I was the survive mindset in League Two, just consolidate, I was always focused on getting to that points marker where we're safe. And the earlier you can do that, the more you can push on. You can get to that safe mark by Christmas, off you go, push on. Do you know what I mean? So,
a Wrexham spokesperson. Actually, I'm not sure I've seen this on any official Wrexham media outlets at this moment in time.
I have got that. I've got to be honest. I got this statement from Rich Fay. So Rich Fay is one of the co-hosts on Rob Ryan Red.
He's got some clout, so it's probably
it's very rare that clubs make statements about individual circumstances and individual sort of instances that happen. But obviously journalists are able to ask direct questions and get answers back. And Richard actually posted the response. So to explain what's actually happened, somebody posted something on X. So their dad had actually passed away, sadly. Season ticket holder, been going for years. And they basically asked the club, their dad wanted the season ticket to stay in the family for obvious reasons. They wanted the season ticket to stay in the family. We keep billing this as a community club, and we're all about the community, and we're all about looking after the people of the town and the people who have put their money in to save the club in the past, and it's all about the people. It's not just a business, all that sort of thing. And so they wanted to pass this on to somebody within the family, and basically the club said no. They wouldn't do that. So the statement, the Wrexham spokesperson basically said, "We're always saddened to hear of the loss of Wrexham fans, especially long-standing season ticket holders who in some cases have been a part of the fabric of the football club for many years. We fully understand that in some cases there is a desire to pass the season ticket on to family members when a supporter passes away. However, we have set a ticket policy that we believe is the fairest for all of our supporters. Due to incredibly high demand on the large number of season ticket holders we have been unable to sell new season tickets for 3 years. Furthermore, and especially so this season with the COP development, the demand for matchday tickets far outstrips the number available. For this reason, we do not allow the transfer of tickets in any circumstances. This helps to prevent a closed shop and ensures as many people as possible have as fair a chance as we can allow to attend matches. We do, of course, take personal circumstances into consideration, and we do allow seat moves when one member of a group has sadly passed away or taken the decision to no longer attend to ensure family and friend groups can bunch together, meaning they do not become split up." So, sorry, that's a very long statement, but I felt it was important to read it out in its entirety because I think for me, I think it's wrong because
it's got a lot of people's backs up, hasn't it? Rightly so.
Yeah, I think lots of clubs out there. You can go on other clubs' websites and they have it in their sort of FAQ section. What happens if a season ticket holder passes away? A lot of clubs have this. Arsenal was one that sort of got posted around a little bit this week. Arsenal have got that in their frequently asked questions, and it basically says, if sadly somebody passes away, then we can arrange for their season ticket to get to get moved to another family member, just get in touch with us and we can sort that out for you.
I don't see what the problem is, if I'm honest. I mean, this dad has passed away, and they want somebody else to take his seat. They're still going to be paying for this ticket as a season ticket. I don't understand what.
No, this is the thing that gets me is they want somebody else in that seat. Okay, that's fine. There is somebody waiting to take that seat and to pay their money to actually take that seat.
It'll be more money because it'll be an adult ticket rather than a concession, obviously.
Yeah, so that is going to be somebody who perhaps is not able to currently attend games, as they've rightly said, because they're unable to get a ticket.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think as a club, if you're gonna be sitting there spouting out that it's all about the people, Rob and Ryan have said on numerous occasions, look, we don't own the club, we're just like custodians of the club, it's your club, it's the community's club, then I think in situations like this, they perhaps need to listen to what the fans are saying. I do understand the point they're trying to make, that, you can't turn every season ticket into like a willable asset that you pass on, because otherwise maybe you would only get the families that are currently going to the ground.
Yeah. They
would be the families that go forever and nobody else would get a look in. I sort of understand what they're trying to say, but for me they've just got this wrong, because I don't understand how, you can be, as a club, so community focused and it's all about the people, and then go, we're sorry to hear about this, but, you're not passing this ticket on. We're going to sell it to somebody else completely random
person.
Completely random. And so, you can bunch up together. So, like, you haven't got some random person sitting in your dad's seat or your mum's seat or your brother's seat or whoever, but ultimately that ticket's going to go to somebody else in the community. Look, I get what they're trying to do, but for me, they've got it wrong.
It's a bit bad. It's poor taste, I think.
I just think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I think
considering, like you'd said, like Premier League teams are, allowing their fans to pass down their season ticket, and I don't know. I just think it's in poor taste, and it's. But like you said, I do understand.
I get
understand
it to a degree. I get it. I get what they're trying to say, because they're sort of going, well, we can't just have everyone passing the season tickets on. There are loads of people out there who are waiting. It would be unfair on all the people waiting just to keep passing tickets within a family. I understand the point they're trying to make. Yeah. But my point is they're wrong in this instance. Yeah. In my opinion, they are wrong in this instance.
Let us know what you think about it.
Please do.
Comment and let us know, and we'll have a chat about it in the next episode.
We'll see what develops over the coming weeks. Yeah. Because I do sort of feel sometimes as a club, what happens is when things like this happen, the club sort of go a little bit quiet and sort of hope it goes away. Yeah. And in a lot of instances in the past, it just does go away, because people are going, I'm not gonna, it's not brought up anymore, and it's not like, well, this is the decision, it is what it is, and people move on, and it's sort of like the club staying quiet sort of makes it go away. And I feel that's happened on a few occasions in the past, and. And I don't know. I just feel like this is perhaps another instance where the club are just going to keep quiet, let the dust settle, and then go back to beating the drum of it's all about the people and this is a community club.
I do think that the club 99% of the time do everything right. They do. Not going to knock them, but the 1% time at a point when they don't.
It's bad.
It's bad, and it's usually something that affects the community.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's poor taste, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you want to comment and let us know how you feel about it.
Yeah, you might disagree with us, you might, and that's fine. We're always open to people going, no, actually, I think you're wrong, and this is the reason I think you're wrong. We're always open to that conversation, so you don't. We're
not going to not read your comment out because you disagree with us.
Just honestly, if you do disagree, if you agree, whatever it is, just comment, and then we might revisit this next week and just see what everybody thinks.
Developments.
Yeah,
I doubt there will be any developments, just because obviously the lads are going on tour to Australia. The new shirt's probably going to be out, so there's probably going to be things that will supersede this, unfortunately. So I can't see there'll be any development.
Talking of the tour of New Zealand
like
and Australia,
segue.
yes, I love that. We've got a guest on. It's someone who's been on numerous times.
He's
before.
a family member of the show.
He is. So we would like to welcome to the show Mr. Chris Rouse. How are you doing, Chris?
Howdy. How's it going?
Good, mate. Good. I think you are now. Well, I don't think now. I think you were before. You are the guest who's been on the most since we started this podcast. I think that is an accolade you hold, to be perfectly honest.
I don't win many awards, but I'll take that one.
A bit's changed since the last time you were on, I think. You've got a brand new logo in the background. So for anyone who doesn't know, Chris was obviously one half of the Two Beards podcast. I'm sure everyone knows that anyway. But you've had a bit of a change, Chris. What's going on with you at the moment?
Yeah, so Adrian decided he had had enough and wanted to focus more on his life, and like we were kind of growing at a pace that he wasn't very comfortable with. And if had it had gone further, he didn't know if he could have committed the way that it needed to be. So he ended up taking some time for himself and just ended up splitting up the business and the podcast and changed it. And he actually has come up with this. So the logo over here, he actually came up with that, which was amazing. And he said, "Here, this is my parting gift," and kind of just going from there. So ended up going solo for a bit, and I've actually just brought on a new co-host who knows a lot of people, Cryptic Construct. So I've been trying him out for the last couple of weeks as well. So he's probably going to be, I'd say, made permanent at some stage. He's doing very, very well. And yeah, so we're a little bit of a change, but it'll just be Rousey's Wrexham Roundup from now on, or the Wrexham Roundup, whichever one people find easier to say. How are you guys?
No, we're really good. Thanks, Chris. Well, I am anyway.
Because I don't speak for me.
I was going to say I shouldn't speak for Siân, really. How are you,
I'm
Siân?
terrible. No, I'm only joking. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Siân's rocking the merch.
I am. Yeah, I care about the podcast, you see.
I mean, I think we're quite happy to have a little bit of football back, because this Friday, the Australian/New Zealand tour starts. We're playing Melbourne Victory, and then we're playing Sydney FC. I believe you're going to the Sydney FC game, Chris.
That's correct. Yep, I'll be over in Sydney I arrive Monday afternoon in Sydney, so that's going to be a bit of fun. And I'll be going to York Lane, which is Sydney's the turf, you could say.
Okay, yeah.
And then obviously heading on over to Allianz Stadium. So, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's such a dream to be able to see Wrexham in person. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
You're going to get to see the new signing as well, probably.
Well, which
Ryan
one?
Hardy.
Which one?
Well, let's go with Ryan Hardy because I think Okonkwo's going to be... Well, I mean, Danny Ward probably will get a little bit of a going out, but...
A bit of a going out.
Well,
I like that. Yeah.
But I think Okonkwo's obviously... He's the number one goalkeeper, so he needs to be,
on it.
But yeah, Ryan Hardy.
Yeah, it is quite exciting. I think we're all looking forward to seeing what he can do. We have to bear in mind it is still a friendly, so it's, you're feeling your way in, aren't you? And a little bit of a competitive game. It's a bit of a trek for you as well,
How can
isn't
it be a friendly in a competitive game?
What? Sorry.
You just said. You just said. We've got to remember it's a
Yeah.
friendly, and then you use competitive in the same sentence.
I know. Yeah,
All friendlies
I know
are competitive.
Yeah, I knew what I meant in my head. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was in my brain. I'd already moved on to the next point, so my mouth goes onto autopilot at that point because my brain's thinking about something else. And as you have just very rightly pointed out, sometimes the right thing doesn't come out when it's in autopilot. What I was gonna say, Chris, is they are in Australia. I get that, but it's still a fair old trek for you, isn't it, to get from where you are to Sydney? I think I was looking. It's over 2,000 miles, isn't it?
Oh, easily, yeah. It's over the other side of Australia. So, yeah, home of the Sydney
Mad.
funnel web spider, the world's deadliest spider. So, yeah, it's going to be good fun for a lot of people coming to Sydney for the first time.
That's mental. I mean, just to give people an idea, and to give Shannon an idea, because geography you hate, don't you? But to give you an idea, so from Perth to Sydney is a longer. So it's quicker for us. No, what am I saying here now? So it's a shorter distance from Wrexham to Baghdad than it is from Perth to Sydney. That just to give you a little bit of the mechanics of what Chris is actually. He's putting in a real shift to get there. So fair play to you. Are you a little bit sort of gutted that the first time you're watching Wrexham isn't at the racecourse, or are you just pumped and excited that you're getting to watch them all the same?
Digging deep on this one.
I know.
Honestly, I don't think it really matters. Like, in my mind, like I'm just happy to be seeing them. Um, yeah, I mean, the race course is hallowed ground, isn't it? Like we all see it as hallowed ground. So I do, the specialty of actually seeing Wrexham in Wrexham is obviously something, you want, but it doesn't matter to me if it's first or not. We get to see him over here. We get to probably have some fun with him, and might get me some Elliot Lee.
Oh,
Maybe.
watch out, Elliot.
I
You
don't
see
know.
the picture of Elliot Lee that he posted
Yeah.
up on Instagram?
I know. It's well used.
Damn.
Well used. Well used. I don't. I don't really know a lot about Australian football. I don't know a lot about the A League, so I suppose you're in a better position to sort of enlighten me a little bit. What's the sort of level in your mind when you see the A League, if you were to compare it to English football? I think what I'm trying to get at is are these games that they've got coming up, are they going to be, competitive enough for Wrexham, or is it just a little bit of a PR sort of thing getting them over to Australia, or is there a real competitive level there that is going to do them some good going into the new season?
Depends who you ask. There's a $1 million question. It really is. Um, if I was to look at it really, really critically, my personal opinion is that it's probably National League. Maybe like National League North and South. You do get some gems that come through. I know Melbourne Victory's got a few. They've got Bruno Fenoli, who's quite a striker because they signed from Europe. Um, so you do get some gems, but the actual standard I don't think is terribly too high. Like I could see that if Wrexham ended up coming to Perth, which I think they were originally touted to have on the books, but it ended up falling through. I think that they would have absolutely blown Perth Glory out of the water because they're at the moment they're the worst team in the A League. But against Melbourne Victory, not a bad team. They were sort of mid-table last season, but they have picked up a few good signings since. Um, Quality wise, yeah, uh, I just don't see it being past National League. I mean, even against Sydney FC, Sydney FC's got a couple of interesting players, but um, I just don't see it. I mean, they're too good. So I think expect a lot of goals. That's all I can say. Expect a lot of goals. I'd be
You
very
heard it here
surprised
first.
if we, yeah, I'd be very surprised if it doesn't walk out there like a 5-0, 6-0, or maybe even more because it's one of those things though. I am curious to see if my analysis of what I think about the A League in Australia is correct, but I suspect it's going to be a very interesting couple of games. There won't be anybody getting ribs broken. Let's put it that way.
Oh God, don't say that. I don't think I could cope with. Don't think I could cope with another really serious injury on this tour. I mean, Sean mentioned before about we've obviously signed Ryan Hardy. We've obviously signed Danny Ward as well. They'll be coming out on the tour. What do you think we need on top of that, Chris? Because there are obviously not the only two signings that we're going to make.
Feels like it at the moment.
It is very slow. Yeah, it feels slow. It's not slow, but it does feel it. What do you think we need positions wise? Maybe not players specifically, but positions wise, what would you like to see coming in?
Um, you're going to be surprised at this answer, but I would like to see Elliot Lee's position challenged a bit more. I do worry, like if we go back to back to back to back, and then we're all of a sudden next year in the Premier League and we haven't got a proper backup position for Elliot Lee, a proper centre attacking mid. I don't see him having that quality to be able to help the team stay in that league. Um, I do think he's championship quality and I think he'll do well for us in the championship, but I think he needs maybe even a person that's a slight step up from him. So that probably another left winger as well. Someone that will push that thing. So I would like to see Longman go back to his natural right hand side. Um, so yeah, I think defensively we're quite sound. Maybe Dan Scar can be pushed. Maybe another centre back. Um, I like Max and I like Lewis Brunt, but maybe yeah, you can see there's little bits within the team that probably do need to have a bit of quality added. But yeah, it's an interesting league already. There's so much going on in the championship, and it hasn't even started. And we've got three teams that are looking at some serious points deductions and transfer embargoes, and
I know.
like
Are we
that
safe
really.
already?
Yeah, I know. We safe already, right?
I know. It's crazy, right? We've got Hull looking at, potential points deductions. Sheffield Wednesday might not have any players come the start of the season, potentially looking at points deductions. I think you're pretty much guaranteed Leicester are going to end up with points deductions. Although I think Leicester are the one team in that whole mix who you would fancy to turn that around and still get quite high up the table, in my opinion. So I think you could probably, they're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be down near the bottom for too long. But the other two, especially the position Hull were in last season, I think that's going to be a big struggle for them if they end up with points deductions.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the transfer embargo will hurt them enough. I mean, they were already in for Lewis O'Brien. I think they were wanting to put a bid in on him, and now all of a sudden they can't. So we're the front runners. So that will be a hell of a signing. Jeez.
I think we're looking at, well, there's been reports of us potentially offering 5 million.
Yeah, I've seen that. 5 million, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. It's not that long ago we could only offer 12-month contracts, and because we just didn't have any money, and now we're potentially going to sign someone for £5 million. That's just
If the rumours are true,
if the rumours. Yes.
obviously.
A way to bring us back to earth, Sean.
Well,
Thank you.
someone's got to, haven't they?
Yeah, they do.
We'd like to see some more signings. I mean, I've been quite surprised at um, how sparing the signings have been. Like, because we've been linked with so many people, everybody under the sun. but we've only made two signings. So
Yeah.
it's just weird. Like it's so. I want to see more. I want to see my phone light up every day and be like, yes, we can talk about that on the podcast. But
Yeah, I know.
um, yeah, no, it's just weird. Like it just. But Parky's known for taking his time. But I would have thought they would have had at least a majority of his core signings in ready for the preseason tour. So yeah, I don't know.
That's it though, isn't it? We don't actually know whether he is going to sign. It's like, I get it, it's so frustrating, not, with people are like signing, you're seeing on like Twitter feeds, oh, such and such is signed for such and such, and it's like, what about Wrexham? And you think, I think the way that Parky does it is very, very strategic. Like he's just brought Danny Ward on, free agent. So, I just think maybe when they're over in Australia or New Zealand, they might go, oh, hello, this is...
Yeah, they might do.
I doubt that, though. I think they probably
I doubt
would.
that as well.
Yeah, I don't think they will.
I think that the one thing to look forward to on this tour, apart from seeing the new players, is seeing the kit. Because surely they've got to unveil the kit in the game on Friday. That's got to happen, surely.
I'll be going over there with money in hand, being like, "Yep, let's go for it. We need new kits, time to upgrade." So I'm pretty sure they will.
Do you think, though, just to say that, do you think quite a lot of fans, me personally, I don't care, but do you think a lot of fans would be like, why are like Australian fans, New Zealand fans, whatever, getting the chance to get their shirt first?
I'm sure there'll be fans like that.
To me, it doesn't matter. As long as I get one, I don't care when I get it. As long as I get it before the season.
I heard, there'll probably be opening of the club shop that they actually release the new kits, which is, I think that's Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, isn't it?
It is. If only we had a really good communications officer at the club that communicated this stuff to us. Anyway, that's to one side. I have heard rumours of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's what I've heard.
I heard Monday.
So I think the club shop is opening this week.
Yes.
But at this moment in time, we really don't know, and I think it might coincide very nicely. If it was, say, Wednesday or Thursday, the club shop opened, unveiled the new kit, and then all of the build up to the Melbourne victory game, for example, then the shirts are available to buy over there at the same time. Nobody's getting it before anybody else. Jobs are good, and I think
maybe Ryan, they might release the kit tomorrow when you drop this episode.
No doubt, it is literally I am so nervous releasing every episode because we get to the end and we sit there and I just cross my fingers at the end of every episode and think, don't say anything before this podcast comes out. Don't sign anyone else. Don't release the kit. Just don't do anything until this is out. And then we don't look like absolute lunatics for not mentioning something that has very blatantly happened before this has come out.
Yeah, but people understand, though, we record on a Sunday.
I know they do. It's just a tightrope at the moment, isn't it? Because everything's happening or nothing's happening.
Okay, what time? When it's 6 o'clock... It's 6 o'clock here, what time is it in Australia? In Sydney?
So we're 7 hours ahead. So if it's 1 o'clock there, which I think it was at the moment when we first joined, it's 8 o'clock here in WA. Yeah. So we're 7 hours ahead.
Okay.
So maybe
add another 2 hours on top of that to Sydney.
Okay.
I'm just thinking time-wise, our podcast might come out because of the time difference in Britain to Australia. It might coincide and we might be all right.
Maybe, who knows? Look, Chris, thanks so much for coming on. It's always great to talk to you. I forget we're recording, if I'm perfectly honest, when we're having a chat, because it's really nice. And it is the reason why you've been on more than anyone else, to be perfectly honest, because it's just,
I just thought I might add, I do know there are a few people flying down from Wrexham and some coming in from the States. So and a lot of people are talking about that Melbourne game because it's the first. So I just say, if you are going to Melbourne, make sure you pack different clothes or take a clothes bag with you because you get 4 seasons in one day in Melbourne. And it is that time of the season. You literally do. It'll be sunny, and then all of a sudden it'll be stormy and wet and rainy, and then it'll be like it's warm and we're warming up. And you literally do get 4 seasons in one day in Melbourne. So I hope everyone is prepared for that. And then obviously Sydney's the poster child of Australia, but
Yeah.
if you are staying on the outskirts of town, you do have to watch out for the old Sydney funnel web spider. They do like to hang around houses, so if I'd make sure you check your toilet or your bed before you go to before you go to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, can they?
That is not
That's that
terrifying
happens.
at all.
That is the truth. That actually does. Like, I mean, funnel web, they like to hide under rocks and things and make own little, funnel of their from their web. But they do, and even redbacks as well. They'll hide underneath toilet seats and stuff. So yeah, Sydney can be a bit fun like that.
Wow.
Hey, we're getting
that
into
is
Australia. This is what it's all about. You learn to live with it, but I
Oh my
mean,
God.
generally, it's not too bad.
yeah, you look like you're going to be sick.
I do feel a bit sick. Yeah, the thought of that, and oh no. I check the toilet anyway when I go to the toilet.
Do you?
Yeah, because
For what?
Because I'll tell you a story, right? In
Skin
my
marks.
my
Not skid
no,
marks.
not skid
no.
marks. Although that is quite a regular occurrence in our house with our child.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just,
Anyway,
Anyway.
so years ago, it was years ago because my nana is obviously no longer with us, but she had a flat, right? And she went into a home.
Yeah.
So her flat was empty for ages.
Yeah.
My dad went to redo her bathroom, and a rat had come through up the toilet. A rat. Yes.
Yeah, they can do that. They can hold their breath. So
watch for spiders, rats, hands. I don't know.
I mean, this is just nightmare inducing.
No, it's preparing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
For that, Chris. That's
thankfully,
like,
snakes. Like, I know Australia is known for its snakes, and we've got the top 3 deadliest snakes in the world, but you only really find them more in the outback. I mean, you will get the odd king brown or dugite or something in the suburbs, but generally they don't like to come into population too much. They're actually more scared of us than we are of them. So you won't see too many of them. Spiders are where it's at, though.
Anything else? Yeah, vicious
Mosquitoes.
lions.
Mosquitoes.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're staying on the South Bank in Melbourne, and towards the evening time, make sure you take mosquito spray. Those mosquitoes around there tend to get a bit bad sometimes. So
Anything else that can kill you? Oh, are we covered it
Oh,
off?
God. Where
There's
do
no
we
serial
start?
killers on the loose or anything at the moment.
They're the least of your problems.
Right, okay.
Do
So
not.
be more scared of spiders than
Yeah.
serial killers
Yeah.
in Australia at
And
the moment.
don't think roos are cuddly because they will kick you and split your ball
Ah.
bags off.
I've heard about that, yeah.
Oh my God, Chris!
All enjoy
thank
yourself
you.
though when you go over to
Yeah,
Australia.
enjoy yourself. Yes, but just be careful not to die. Chris, thanks so much for joining us, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
We love you, Chris.
Thank you, guys, and I love the new studio, and I look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Thank you.
Before you go, Chris, where can everyone find you? Because obviously everything's changed for you. So shout out your channel and where can they look for you?
Probably find me behind the couch, maybe out the back. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think, look, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. Wrexham Roundup. So obviously it's changed a little bit. I'm still Two Beards Media on Instagram, but Wrexham or WXM Roundup on Twitter or X, and obviously Wrexham Roundup on YouTube. So head on over.
Cheers, mate. Make sure everyone goes and checks Chris out because it is absolutely fantastic. Thanks for coming on, Chris.
See you guys.
So we're playing Melbourne Victory this Friday, the 11th of July. Kickoff is at 10:30 a.m. BST. That's 7:30 p.m. local time.
Oh, I like that.
Excited for that one. I can't wait to get some football back. Good. I'm happy.
10:30 though.
10:30 in the morning. Everyone's working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, we're going to talk about two more championship teams that we're due to face next season. Would you like to go first or second?
I shall go first.
Off you go.
So the first team we're going to look at is Portsmouth. Portsmouth were founded in 1898. They play at Fratton Park, which is about 229 miles from us, ground to ground, which is about 5 hours.
Yeah, depending on traffic, 4.5 hours, 5 hours, one of them. Yeah.
Their capacity is 20,899. Portsmouth finished 16th in the Championship last season on 54 points. They were 5 points above relegation. In the Premier League, they've been in the Premier League between 2003 and 2010. They were relegated 3 times in 4 seasons to end up in League 2. 4 seasons were in League 2 and 7 in League 1 before they got promoted back to the Championship in 2024. We haven't played them since 1986. Wowzer. A league game at the racecourse.
It was a League Cup game at the racecourse.
A League Cup game, which we played at the racecourse, which we lost 2-1.
Yeah.
And the last league games were played in the 82-83 seasons, like 43 years ago,
I know.
which we lost, home and away.
Yeah.
Their nicknames are the Pompeys.
No, the nickname is Pompey.
Pompey.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I would read that as Pompeii.
Pompey is Pompei.
Sorry, yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
Pompey.
Pompey. Do you want to know why?
I would like to know why.
Okay, so Pompey, because Portsmouth is obviously it's quite well known for the port. It's a port, So it's
Is it the mouth of a port?
It is the mouth of a port, yeah. So they obviously very heavy sort of like naval area. The Navy are all sort of based down sort of Portsmouth way. When ships used to come into Portsmouth, there was a place in Portsmouth the ships used to go that was called Portsmouth Point. And they used to abbreviate that to so Portsmouth was abbreviated to POM, and Point was abbreviated to P. So to the letter P. So when the ships were coming in, they would refer to it as Pompey, and then that's where Pompey came from as a nickname.
I like it.
So
they play in blue. Their local rivals are actually Southampton. They were FA Cup winners in 2008. We play them away on Bonfire Night, which is the 5th of November.
Which is bloody Tuesday, I think, which is quite annoying. I
We definitely won't be going to
No,
that.
no, I'm not doing a 10-hour round trip on a Tuesday, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately.
You'd have to take about 3 days off work for that one.
Yeah. And we play at home on the 24th of February.
Yeah.
2026.
Another team I am excited about because, like I said, they, in my lifetime, not that long ago, 17 years ago, they won the FA Cup. I think they beat Cardiff in the final, beat them 1-0. They've got quite a famous fan, and he wears, he's very tattooed, and he wears lots of like badges on a hat and stuff like that. I'll have to show you a picture of him. He is quite famous. I'd say things like that. I'm not sure he's still alive, but I'm pretty sure he is. But I'll have to show you him. But yeah, so like I say, it's someone that I used to watch in the Premier League. They had like some really good players. I remember their strike partnership for a long time was Defoe and Crouch. They used to play up front together. Harry Redknapp used to manage them. Yeah, so it's I do.
Who manages them now?
Oh, I have no idea. Not absolutely
Oh,
not.
sorry, I thought you might have had that on
No.
Sorry.
No, unfortunately not. Look, another team we're going to face next season. I know why Siân took the first one, because the second one's a little bit boring. The second one's Charlton Athletic. Founded in 1905. They play at the Valley, which is 206 miles away, obviously in London, about 4.5 hours, give or take, depending when you put it into Google Maps, if I'm perfectly honest. Capacity of 27,111. They finished 4th in League One last season and obviously got promoted through the playoffs. They beat Leyton Orient in the final. Since 2000, they've spent 8 seasons in the Premier League, 7 in the Championship and 11 in League One. We beat them 3-0 at the Racecourse last season, obviously, to clinch promotion. We drew 2-2 at the Valley. Probably should have won both games, if I'm honest. We were at Charlton, weren't we? And
away, yeah.
2-1 up. And give a penalty away right at the death, and they equalised. It was one of the most surreal moments for me. Charlton are very much a team, like I said, since 2000, spent a lot of seasons in the Premier League. And it's a team that I always associate with being higher up. Mm-hmm. So being in the Premier League, I grew up with them for years and years being in the Premier League. And it was one of them surreal moments for me when we came out of the Charlton game and we were walking through the streets and all of the Charlton fans were just chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" And I was like, we were in the National League not long ago. You were in the Premier League not that long ago. And you're shouting, "Who are you?" to us. And it was such a surreal moment. It's something that I will always remember, that is. But nicknames the Addicts. They play in red. We play them at home on the 8th of November, and we play them away on the 28th of February. So we're coming to the business end of this now. We haven't got a lot of teams left to talk about, which is quite exciting. I'm looking forward to. I think we can probably guess who the last team we're going to talk about is, but I won't say it if you haven't guessed, but there we go. Look, if you do want to support the show, you can do so by buying us a coffee, and you do that by visiting buymeacoffee.com/me-the-wife. 2 people to thank this week. Linda, thank you very much, Linda, for supporting the show. She said, "I think your podcast should have been in season 4. Thank you. And Mick Lamb as well. From a listener from Texas, starting way back to your first few episodes. Thanks for all your effort and joy in doing this podcast. I feel like I'm listening to friends."
I love that.
Thank you so much, Mick.
I would just like...
And that is what I was saying last week.
That
That is what's important to me.
Yes, me too. I'm really sorry. I just want to quickly say as well, last Friday, 4th of July, it was actually Linda's birthday. You just mentioned Linda.
Oh, right, okay.
It was her birthday, so she was going to the fireworks on the 4th of July and everything. So we hope you had a lovely birthday, Linda, and we love you.
Yes, thank you very much, Linda. And happy birthday as well. Look, if you do want to get in touch with us, there's lots of ways to do so. You can comment on this YouTube video. You can click contact the show at the bottom of the description if you're listening as a podcast. All the social media stuff as well. Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or email us at methewife and wrexhamafc@gmail.com. Quick shout out for Dragon Chat before we get to the quiz. It's a mental health peer support group. They run 2 weekly Zoom calls. One is on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women. The other is Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. If you want to get on them, all the details are down in the description of this video. Alternatively, go to the Wrexham AFC website, scroll to community and then to health, and you'll find Dragon Chat in there. I just realised something as well before we do the quiz. I mentioned the shirt this week. Usually do it at the top of the show, but this week one of my favourites, I think maybe not so much for the look, but just for the nostalgia of it. I'm wearing the 150th anniversary shirt.
Otherwise known as the Dennis the Menace shirt.
Otherwise known as the Dennis the Menace shirt, yes. So it's from 2012. Nike, fits really nice. Love this shirt. Love, everything about it. I love the gold sort of badge that we've got, which is obviously they did that for the 150th anniversary. One of my favourites, and I love it. But yeah, just realised I never mentioned it at the top of the show.
What year is it, Ryan?
2012, Siân. 2012. Yeah, 150 years. Yes. Okay. Happy?
I'm happy.
Good. Quiz time. So I will take that. Whoa!
Didn't see it.
Didn't see that.
So I got 5 out of 5 last week.
You did.
So
You did.
the only way is down from here.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I do have to tell you something before we do this quiz. So me and our son went for a walk the other day, and I tested the quiz out on him. Because it's very multiple choice. He said, but I don't really know anything about Wrexham. And I went, no, but it's like a multiple choice. So, do you want to see how you get on? He goes, yeah, all right then. So he did it, and he got 3 out of 5. So
is that what you were talking about before we started recording?
Just before we recorded, he just reminded me. He goes, don't forget that I did the quiz. I got 3 out of 5. So he wanted me to let you know that you got 3 out of 5, just to pile a little bit of pressure.
So I need to beat my 13-year-old son.
You do, who doesn't really know anything about Wrexham. So
that's shameful, that, isn't it? That he doesn't know anything about Wrexham, and his mum and dad do a Wrexham podcast, but each to their own.
Hey,
whatever.
you got 3 out of 5. So it is very much a multiple choice, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Question 1. We start our Australia and New Zealand tour on Friday against Melbourne Victory. Then we travel to Sydney and then on to Wellington. How many miles would a Wrexham fan from Wrexham travel in total to get to each game and back home? Before I read out the options, would you like a stab?
No.
No. Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Is it 19,752, 22,312, 24,134, or 28,601?
C.
What is C? 24,134. Yes, that is correct.
Is it?
Are you ready?
Yep.
2. The name of the stadium where we play Melbourne Victory comes from a deal between Melbourne Stadiums and who? Is it Paramount Pictures, Walt Disney, MGM Studios, or Universal?
Read them again, sorry.
Paramount Pictures, Walt Disney, MGM Studios, or Universal?
Universal.
That's incorrect.
It's MGM in it.
Do you want me to tell you the name of the stadium?
Okay.
It's the Marvel Stadium.
So it's Disney.
It is Disney.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, so it's called the Marvel
I was
Stadium.
shaking my head when you were saying Disney.
Yeah, so Disney own the Marvel franchise. So yeah, they did a deal with Melbourne Stadiums, and it's called Marvel. Yeah. Question 3. We play Sydney FC on the 15th of July. Mm-hmm. We have they have an English player named Joe Lolly, who used to play for which team that we played last season in League One? Is it Huddersfield, Barnsley, Birmingham, or Cambridge?
Cambridge.
Incorrect. It's Huddersfield. He used to play for Huddersfield. He went from, and he was also at Forest as well, but Huddersfield. Question 4. Wellington Phoenix are our final opponents as we travel to New Zealand for the last game of the tour. Different spelling, but they share their nickname with a New York-based sports team. But what team is it? Is it the Giants, the Islanders, the Knicks, or the Mets?
The Islanders.
Incorrect. It is the Knicks. The Wellington Phoenix. It's the Knicks. Okay, so what have you got so far? 1. So you already have not beat our son. You can't even draw level.
Oh my God, I'm going to have,
Yes.
yeah, this is going to be.
Can't wait to let him know. Question 5. This is just for a bit of fun. this last one. Which of the following is an actual place name in Australia? Kangaroo Pouch Pines, Rusty Hammer Ridge, No Name, Always Hot Town, or Eggs and Bacon Bay?
The Hammer one.
Rusty Hammer Ridge?
Yeah.
Wrong. Do you want another crack?
Is it the eggs one?
It is Eggs and Bacon Bay. Yes, that's in Tasmania. It's called Eggs and Bacon Bay. Yeah.
I should have gone for the most stupid one, shouldn't I?
So our son got that one. He got the Knicks one.
I'm just going to slump in my chair.
He got Walt Disney because obviously Marvel. He knew that was Walt Disney.
I didn't know it was called Marvel, though.
Neither did. Well, he's obviously seen that somewhere, and he knew that.
That's ridiculous.
So he has done more research into where we're playing our Australia-New Zealand tour than the host of a podcast.
I'm sorry.
There
I told
we go.
you, didn't I? It goes up, it goes down.
Yeah, that is life.
So the only way now from here is up. So we'll see what next week brings.
Well, you've got 1 out of 5. There isn't an only way from here because you could go down from that.
Oh, yeah.
And that has happened before.
Yeah.
So
quite a number of weeks, actually.
Yeah, so we will just wait and see. Look, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to Chris for joining us.
Yes, we
again
love you, Chris.
This week. Make sure you go and check out Chris's channel on YouTube and everywhere that he is on social media. And make sure you give us a little like and a subscribe while you're here as well. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.